use this mantra. That makes it even worse if you don't agree with it. Because guidelines are not laws or rules. They're just guidelines. The problem is that non-experts in menopause don't know how to adjust guidelines for the individual patient. That would be you. So this mantra should be, take the appropriate dosage for the appropriate period of time, and every woman is different. Doesn't that make more sense? What this means is that you should tailor the treatment to the individual patient. That's what menopause management is all about. And that's why I teach you the way I do, so that you can do what's right for you. So this mantra is a great big myth. Okay, mantra 8 is, you have to stop HRT after 5 to 10 years. Myth or matter of fact? I've covered this one in a whole bunch of videos and a whole bunch of broadcasts. This is all about the estrogen window of opportunity. It's the first 5 to 10 years of your postmenopause when taking estrogen can prevent the diseases associated with menopause, including heart attack, osteoporosis, and Alzheimer's disease. And as I've taught you, the 5 to 10 years refers to the time you have to start taking estrogen. It's the time period for the green light. Go. It has absolutely nothing to do with how long you can take estrogen. It is not a time limit for taking estrogen. It's not the red light. It's only the green light. It is a time limit for getting started on estrogen. You see, there's a huge difference in the two. You could start taking estrogen 4 years after your postmenopausal, and you could take it for the rest of your life. But a misinterpretation of the 5 to 10 years would make you think you could only take it for a total of 5 to 10 years. Not so. So this mantra is a great big myth. This is another mantra that you'll hear from professionals who are not menopause experts, and they'll even refuse to prescribe estrogen beyond 5 to 10 years to make themselves feel safer. And like most things associated with ignorance, they'll swear they know what they're talking about. And they'll probably try to scare you with one of the other mantras that is untrue. Having this education and knowing the facts will empower you, but it may also frustrate you. When you realize how cheated women are in getting what they need and deserve for menopause, it will really upset you. Now, before I blow a gasket, let's move on to mantra 9. Okay, mantra 9, you can take calcium instead of estrogen to prevent osteoporosis. Is that a myth or a matter of fact? How many times have we discussed this? I sound like your mother, don't I? How many times? Do you remember the quality versus quantity comparison I've given you? Osteoporosis is a lower quantity of bone. It's bone loss that is due to estrogen loss. Calcium has absolutely nothing to do with bone quantity. It only affects bone quality. So you can take all the calcium in the world and still lose bone. So this one is an absolute myth. Do not settle for taking calcium in order to prevent osteoporosis. It will work. It would be like putting your dishes in your toilet in order to clean them. I mean, the toilet will not clean them like your dishwasher will. It'll swish the water around and maybe even rinse them off, but they will not be clean. They'll be contaminated with all sorts of bacteria that'll make you sick. It's a crazy analogy, but it's apropos. Okay, and finally we have mantra number 10. You can't take HRT if someone else in your family had a disease that is riskier with hormones. Do you think that's a myth? Or do you think it's a matter of fact? I hear this one all the time from women who hear it from their doctors. Does it make any sense to you? Think about it. You can't take something because someone else had a disease? Does that sound like sound practice? I mean, how do you connect the dots on that one? If your mother had a stroke, should you be denied HRT? What if your mother is an obese, diabetic smoker, but you're a thin, vegan health nut? Does that matter? If your sister had breast cancer, but she has all the risk factors for breast cancer and you have none, should you be denied HRT? Do you think family history trumps everything else? Do you think your family members or their behaviors and disease risks matter more than your own behaviors and disease risks? If the disease is one for which there is a genetic mutation and you actually have the mutation, that's a whole different story. But just because someone else in your family had a disease that's associated with a higher HRT risk does not mean that you can't take HRT. So despite the fact that this mantra is very common, it is not a matter of fact. It is a myth. You have to do what is most comfortable and reasonable for you because you are unique. So there you have it. So many mantras and so few facts. How many of those mantras were myths and how many were facts? You see, as you have learned, things are not that black and white. There are many, many shades of gray. And this education helps you to see those shades of gray. I hope you found this really useful. And if you haven't been listening to these broadcasts in order or watching my videos in order, go back and see some of these things because you'll realize very clearly how these myths versus matter of fact make perfect sense. And that's a fact. I just want you to understand all the reasons for everything. And when you understand the reasons for things, you just don't forget them. It's always about the logic behind them. And so that's what I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please go to my website. It is menopausetailor.me. You'll find so much there that will help you learn everything you need about menopause. You'll find that I write all sorts of articles. I have a book called Menopause, Your Management, Your Way, Now and for the Rest of Your Life. I have a 14-hour seminar that is available on DVD and as webinars. And I do one-on-one consultations with individual women all over the world. Do them on video conferencing like Skype, FaceTime, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, the phone. And you can schedule one anytime, and no matter where you are in the world, I can help you. They're very popular, and I give you a whole lot in a consultation, more than you could ever expect. The goal is to be able to manage your menopause your way and to know what you're doing. I don't care how you do it. I just want you to know what you're doing. I don't want you to look back 20 years from now and say, why didn't anyone tell me? So I invite you to go to my website. I invite you to watch my YouTube videos. My channel is called Menopause Tailor. And keep listening to these broadcasts and keep thinking about some of these things because you know what? This stuff will play on your mind. And as you think about these mantras, you'll start realizing how inaccurate some of them are. So I will bid you farewell. Thanks for listening. Come back for the next time. This is Menopause Tailor signing off for now. Bye.